Modern air warfare is undergoing a quiet but decisive transformation. For decades, public conversations about military aviation focused almost entirely on fighter aircraft, their speed, weapons, stealth, and maneuverability. Yet beneath this visible layer of air power lies a less glamorous but infinitely more decisive capability: the ability to see first, understand first, and coordinate first. In today's battle space, victory increasingly belongs not to the aircraft with the best individual performance, but to the force that operates as a connected network.
Before we move forward, please like, subscribe, and share Strategic Vanguard, and be up to date with the latest news and happenings from the world of defense and strategic affairs. Tune into our video channels in Rumble and YouTube. And if you want to hear the audio version, please tune into Strategic Vanguard Deep Dive in Spotify.
For India, this reality places renewed strategic urgency on one specific capability: airborne warning and control systems, or AWACS, the invisible backbone of modern aerial dominance. India possesses a capable and evolving air force, with platforms like the Su-30 MKI, Rafale, and future projects such as the AMCA. However, air power is no longer defined solely by fighter fleets. The real question shaping the future of air superiority is whether these aircraft can operate within a seamless web of awareness and coordination. AWACS aircraft function as flying command centers, dramatically expanding radar coverage, detecting threats far beyond the range of ground systems, and guiding fighters with precision. In simple terms, they provide the eyes in the sky that allow an air force to fight intelligently rather than reactively. This shift toward network-centric warfare has accelerated globally. The United States, NATO, and increasingly China have invested heavily in airborne surveillance platforms precisely because modern conflicts unfold at high speeds and across vast distances. Detection timelines are shrinking, and stealth technologies complicate traditional radar coverage. The ability to detect incoming threats early, track multiple targets simultaneously, and coordinate defensive or offensive actions in real time has become the decisive factor in air warfare. Without adequate AWACS coverage, even advanced fighters risk operating blind in an increasingly complex battle space. China's rapid military modernization highlights why India's AWACS capability deserves urgent strategic attention. The People's Liberation Army Air Force has expanded its fleet of advanced fighters, particularly the J-20 stealth aircraft, with numbers reportedly crossing the 300 mark and continuing to grow. Beyond individual aircraft performance, China is building an integrated combat network combining airborne sensors, data links, and long-range weapons. This system aims to extend detection ranges, coordinate formations across wide areas, and overwhelm adversaries through information superiority. In such an environment, air combat begins long before fighters visually encounter each other. It starts with who sees first and who remains unseen. The emergence of additional fifth-generation aircraft in the region further complicates India's strategic environment. Reports suggesting potential Pakistani interest in acquiring the Chinese J-35 introduce another variable into South Asia's evolving aerial balance. While Pakistan's economic challenges raise questions about the scale and speed of such acquisitions, the possibility cannot be ignored entirely. Even limited numbers of stealth aircraft, if integrated with effective airborne surveillance and targeting systems, could alter tactical dynamics during crises. This reality reinforces the importance of India maintaining not just qualitative fighter superiority, but also a robust airborne early warning network capable of detecting low observable threats. Beyond immediate neighbors, future uncertainties continue to shape strategic planning. The Turkish Khan fighter program, for example, represents a potential wildcard. While it remains unclear whether Pakistan could realistically acquire or operate such advanced platforms, given financial constraints and technological dependencies, strategic planning must consider plausible scenarios rather than ideal ones. Military preparedness is not built on certainty, but on anticipation. India's air power strategy must therefore account for a future in which multiple adversaries field increasingly sophisticated aircraft supported by networked battle management systems. Against this backdrop, India's existing AWACS fleet reflects both significant progress and notable limitations. The Indian Air Force operates Phalcon AWACS aircraft, which provide advanced airborne surveillance and battle management capabilities. These platforms have strengthened India's ability to monitor airspace, coordinate missions, and extend radar coverage beyond ground-based limitations. Complementing them are indigenous Netra systems developed to enhance domestic capability and reduce reliance on foreign technology. Netra 1 represents an important step towards self-reliance, demonstrating India's capacity to design and integrate airborne early warning solutions tailored to its operational needs. However, strategic analysis must move beyond acknowledging capability to evaluating scale. Modern air warfare demands persistent coverage across multiple theaters, especially for a country facing potential two-front challenges. AWACS aircraft cannot be everywhere at once. They require rotation, maintenance, and protective escort. Limited numbers inevitably create coverage gaps, particularly during sustained operations or simultaneous crises. The question facing India is therefore not whether it has AWACS, but whether it has enough to maintain continuous situational awareness across its vast operational environment. The evolution toward Netra 1A and future Netra 2 systems indicates recognition of this requirement. Expanding indigenous programs allows India to build a layered approach combining imported and domestically developed platforms. Indigenous development also enables customization according to specific geographic and strategic needs, such as monitoring mountainous terrain or maritime approaches. More importantly, increasing the number of AWACS platforms strengthens redundancy. A crucial factor given that these aircraft are high-value assets and potential priority targets during conflict. Understanding why AWACS numbers matter requires appreciating the operational logic of modern air combat. Fighters rarely operate independently. Instead, they function as nodes within a broader network that includes ground radars, satellites, airborne sensors, and command centers. AWACS aircraft serve as the central nervous system of this network, aggregating information from multiple sources and distributing actionable data to pilots. This allows fighters to launch beyond visual range engagements, avoid enemy threats, and coordinate complex maneuvers without relying solely on onboard sensors. Stealth aircraft amplify the importance of this networked approach. While stealth reduces detection probability, it does not render aircraft invisible. Detecting low observable targets often requires combining multiple sensors operating across different frequencies and perspectives. AWACS platforms, positioned at altitude with powerful radar systems, significantly enhance the probability of early detection when integrated into a larger surveillance ecosystem. Without sufficient airborne coverage, stealth aircraft gain an operational advantage by exploiting gaps in situational awareness. India's strategic geography further underscores the need for expanded AWACS capability. The country must monitor vast airspace extending from the Himalayas to the Indian Ocean, encompassing multiple potential threat vectors. Maritime surveillance is particularly critical, given the increasing importance of naval aviation and carrier operations in the Indo-Pacific. AWACS platforms provide extended radar horizons over water, enabling early warning against long-range strikes or airborne incursions that ground-based radars might detect too late. Another often overlooked dimension is command and control. AWACS aircraft do not merely detect targets, they orchestrate battles. By directing fighters, assigning targets, and coordinating defensive responses, they reduce pilot workload and improve decision-making speed. In high-intensity scenarios where seconds matter, centralized airborne command can mean the difference between successful interception and catastrophic surprise. As adversaries integrate artificial intelligence, advanced data links, and electronic warfare capabilities, the role of airborne battle management will only grow more critical. India's pursuit of Netra 2 reflects an understanding that future conflicts will require larger, more capable platforms, capable of extended endurance and broader coverage. Increasing radar range and data processing capacity will allow these systems to manage increasingly complex battle spaces. However, development timelines and procurement decisions must align with the pace of evolving threats. Delays in expanding AWACS numbers risk creating a capability gap, precisely when regional air power competition intensifies. A key strategic insight often missed in public discussions is that AWACS investment multiplies the effectiveness of existing assets. Rather than simply adding more fighters, an expensive and time-consuming process, enhancing airborne surveillance improves the performance of every aircraft already in service. Better awareness allows pilots to conserve fuel, avoid unnecessary risks, and engage targets with higher probability of success. From a cost-benefit perspective, AWACS expansion represents one of the most efficient ways to enhance overall combat capability. The psychological dimension of deterrence also deserves attention. Visible investments in advanced fighters capture headlines, but adversaries closely monitor less visible capabilities like surveillance networks and command infrastructure. A robust AWACS fleet signals preparedness for high-intensity operations and complicates enemy planning by reducing the likelihood of achieving surprise. Deterrence operates not only through weapons, but through perceived awareness and readiness. India's strategic culture has historically emphasized gradual capability development rather than rapid expansion. While this approach ensures sustainability and reduces financial strain, emerging regional dynamics may require accelerated timelines. China's scale advantage and rapid production cycles create pressure to respond not necessarily with matching numbers but with strategic prioritization. AWACS expansion represents such a priority because it enhances survivability and effectiveness across the entire Air Force. At the same time, discussions about AWACS should avoid alarmism. India is not starting from zero. Significant progress has already been achieved through programs like Phalcon and Netra. The challenge lies in moving from capability demonstration to operational sufficiency. Building enough airborne surveillance assets to maintain persistent coverage across multiple sectors is the next step in ensuring that India's air power remains credible in the face of evolving threats. The transition from platform-centric thinking to network-centric strategy represents perhaps the most important shift in modern military doctrine. Air superiority is no longer defined by individual dogfights, but by information dominance. Data fusion, real-time coordination, and early detection transform how battles unfold. AWACS aircraft sit at the center of this transformation, enabling forces to operate as cohesive systems rather than isolated units. Strategic planners must therefore consider AWACS not as support assets, but as primary enablers of air power. Investments in stealth fighters, advanced missiles, and electronic warfare systems achieve full potential only when integrated into a robust surveillance and command network. Without sufficient airborne early warning, the advantages of modern platforms risk being diluted. Looking ahead, India's path likely involves combining indigenous innovation with selective partnerships, leveraging domestic industry while maintaining interoperability with friendly nations. The development of advanced data networks connecting AWACS platforms with ground and naval assets could create a comprehensive sensor grid spanning multiple domains. Such integration aligns with broader trends toward multi-domain operations, where air, sea, land, space, and cyber capabilities converge into unified strategic frameworks. Ultimately, the debate about AWACS is not about technology, but about vision. It reflects how India conceptualizes future warfare and how it prioritizes investments in an era defined by rapid technological change. As adversaries pursue stealth aircraft and integrated battle networks, the need for persistent airborne awareness becomes not optional, but essential. The future of air superiority will belong to those who control information flows, rather than merely field powerful machines. For India, expanding its AWACS fleet represents an opportunity to transform existing strengths into a cohesive and resilient air power architecture. The question is no longer whether AWACS matter, it is how quickly India can scale this capability to match the pace of emerging threats. In the final analysis, air power is evolving from a contest of machines into a contest of perception. Fighters may deliver the decisive strike, but it is the unseen eyes in the sky that determine when, where, and how that strike occurs. If the coming decades redefine warfare around networks and awareness, then AWACS will stand at the center of that transformation. India's ability to secure its skies against future challenges may therefore depend less on how many fighters it possesses and more on how clearly it can see the battle space before the fight even begins.
Thank you for joining us on this Strategic Vanguard deep dive. If you found value in this analysis, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We bring you fresh deep dives every Wednesday and Saturday here on YouTube and Rumble, and you can also catch the audio versions on Spotify and Amazon Music. Just search for Strategic Vanguard Deep Dive. For more insights, articles, and discussions, subscribe to our blog at strategicvanguard.com. Your support helps us grow and bring you more in-depth analysis on defense, geopolitics, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay strategic.